Welcome to Ask an English Teacher. I'm Amy. Ask me anything. Today's question comes from Jerry. Jerry asks, what's the difference between relative and relevant? This is a great question because these two words are sort of related. They're similar, but they are distinct and they're different and we use them differently. So let me try to explain. Relative is an adjective and it means in relation or proportion to something else, showing a relationship. Let's look at some example sentences. The relative wealth gap is cause for many social problems in our country. Relative wealth gap is saying the gap between two different groups and the relationship between those groups and that gap. Another example, students find their relative social position among their peers. In this sentence, relative social position indicates their position in relationship to other people, as far as social status or social hierarchy. They fell short of my relative expectations. In these sentences, I'm using relative to describe, for example, my relative expectations, my expectations in relation to something else. So if I say they fell short of, that means they didn't meet my expectations. Relative can also be a noun that means family member. For example, my relatives are visiting for the holidays. Relevant, however, is slightly different. It's also an adjective, and it means pertinent, connected to the matter at hand. I would also describe it as information or something that is also important, pertinent. For example, her comment was not relevant to the topic. Her comment was not important or had no relationship to the topic. Let's find some relevant resources and then we'll weigh the options. Let's find some relevant resources, some resources that have some relationship or that are important to this situation, and then we'll weigh the options. We'll make a decision. We'll look at the pros and cons and make a decision. We need to focus on things that are relevant to this conversation. Relevant to this conversation, meaning that are important and related to this conversation. Try making your own sentences using relative and relevant and write them in the comment section. I'll come by and take a look and give you my feedback. I hope this is helpful. Thanks so much for your question, Jerry. If you have more questions, please leave them for me in the comment section of this video, and I'll do my best to answer them in a future video. Until then, have a good one. Bye.